Okay, let's get started. So our lesson for today is all about freelancer profile creation. For this topic, we're gonna divide it into three. We're gonna talk about building your freelancer profile, and then we'll talk about publishing it, and then afterwards, what are the things that you can do in promoting your freelancer profile. All right. So remember, when building your freelancer profile, of course, every freelancer must have a toolkit. So the primary thing before when building your freelancer toolkit, it all starts with your more or less your portfolio or profile. So it talks about your curriculum vitae, and then we also talk about your best work showcase. But when showing your best work showcase, it's not just about giving a link or posting an image there. You need to indicate what it is about, and then how are you involved in the project, no? Or how did you do it, or how did you finish it? You also need to have a good professional photo. It is so if you don't have enough experience, you can also, or even if you have a lot of experience, it's also good to indicate your community involvement. Like if you're participating in some pro bono activity or you're helping out the community by lending your expertise, like building a website for an NGO or supporting a cause by being a trainer for a program on a pro bono basis. These are all examples of community involvement that you can also include in your portfolio. And of course, you also have to allot time to regularly update your portfolio. If you have an active online jobs lifestyle, then you can update it on a monthly basis, or you can also update it on a quarterly basis. And then, of course, you can proceed in publishing this online. And in publishing it online, apart from including all the information that you have in your portfolio, you can further customize this by listing the services that you're offering, which we discussed yesterday. Make sure that your when you publish, it will reflect your branding. And if you want more information on branding, you can visit our video number 2 or number 3 on that topic in this series. It's good also to tell your story. If you're a freelancer, like on your in your own words, tell how did you venture, how did you got into this, what made you decide to venture to become a freelancer. It is also good to add resources. That's why we publish useful blog posts that will not necessarily talk about us, but will share our expertise to others and give links that will help our readers, whether these readers are clients or prospective partners or freelancers that you can work with on certain projects. And as I said, of course, you need to have your gadgets so that you can accept jobs and do the work that is necessary, have the right applications, and be capable of accepting payments. Now, in building your freelancer profile and portfolio, whether you're using a freelancing job site or a freelancing site, or whether you're using your LinkedIn profile as your freelancer portfolio page or your website, make sure that the headline, especially when using freelancer sites or LinkedIn, must clearly indicate what you are and your years of experience and what's your specialty. Of course, you're capable of so many things, but you need to decide what are you going to be known for? What expertise are you going to be known for? Are you an e-commerce specialist? Are you a digital marketing specialist? Are you an SEO specialist? Are you a copywriter? So it depends on what expertise you have, but make sure that you be able to communicate it. And it's also important to share what's your highest value. I mean, what makes you distinct? Like in my case, if I say that my highest value is I offer independent insights. So how do I offer independent insights? I do that through my trainings, by adding my own stories, by adding my own inputs, my observations. I do that through through curriculum development by incorporating again my experience and what I believe in my assessment are the important important skills or aspects that needs to be included. So it is important that when you communicate something, you have to explain the how. All right. And of course, your qualifications like your education, your experience, sample work and portfolio. And as I indicated earlier, any community involvement that you're doing, you can also include that in your freelancer profile or portfolio. And of course, make sure that you can be easily reached. You can indicate your mobile, your social media contact, and your email address. And as much as possible, if you can give a quick turnaround time, the better, because of course, this person, your prospective client, might be inquiring from different people. So if you have a slow response time, it will give a sign that you're too busy or too overloaded with whatever you're working on right now, that prevents you from replying fast to increase and accommodate them. So there are many worries for any freelancer about in marketing their business or their freelancer service. And as I mentioned before, it's your clients are distracted, and you have a lot of competition online. And then, of course, if you are a copywriter and then there's also another copywriter offering their service, then your clients might end up deciding based on price if both of you have experience. So there's this aspect of commoditization as well. And that is why when you write your freelancer profile and when you build your portfolio and when you talk about the value that you bring, always think about whether how I'm writing my value, how I'm writing my services, how I'm writing about myself in being a capable freelancer. Will this attract customers? Will this show that I am the best choice for the job? And will this also compel the person to decide to hire me immediately? And if this prospect is working with somebody else before, will my profile convince this person to at least try me out? And if I'm working with a client before, how can my improving portfolio, improving profile, make this person decide to still stick with me rather than trying somebody else out who may be flashier or who may be offering their services cheaper. So how can I keep them engaged or keep them loyal to me? So these are things that you need to think about when working on your freelancer profile. And of course, finding your niche is very important, because of course you can offer so many things in the market and there are many service providers in the market, but the ones who are claiming success more often than not have a niche that they specialize in, that they are good at. It's not, although sometimes you may hear criticism na, dyan lang naman magaling yan, yung sa iba naman kulang siya sa experience. That's not the point, no? The point there is that person has realized asan yung benefit niya that he can provide to his or her clients, na yun yung at his best or at her best. So, dahil alam niya kung ano yung specific benefit na pinoprovide niya at dun siya nag-focus, yung focus na yon ang nagbigay sa kanya ng high yield opportunities. It's not about hindi siya magaling sa lahat ng bagay. It's not about hindi naman siya talaga ganun ka-expert. There are 10 areas there or 5 areas there. Dito lang siya magaling. Kala mo kung sino na siya magsalita. Kasi minsan may ganyan tendency sa mga freelancing, no? Lalo na kapag pag pumapasok na tayo sa field ng mga, yan, yung mga nagko-coach, yung mga nagtuturo, marami ako na-observe na minsan nag-ano sila, medyo nag-iintrigahan sila. So anyway, the point there is it's not about being an expert on a lot of things, but deciding and knowing where you're really good at and that you're able to get clients in that area, and you clearly knowing what makes you different from others, that you can really compete in that aspect, and in the process you are worth more, you're paid more, and you don't compete on price. Okay, so that's the high achievers success formula. So as you build your profile and as you build your portfolio, that is one thing that you need to discover along the way. And that is why if you're new and you're still trying to decide what kind of portfolio do you want to build, I think as you work on projects, sooner or later you will have a feel of what you are really, really, really good at. And once you have that feel, then you continue building on it. Kumbaga, build your 10,000 hours of experience in that area para talagang masabi mo na ito na ako, no? Ito na yung talagang pinaka-ultimate na service that I can provide. This is where I'm really good at, and this is where my highest, most specific benefit that I can bring to the table. That makes me work more, that allows me to get paid more, and where I don't have to compete on price. Because those who value me will pay me for it, but those who don't appreciate the value for it will just go for someone that they can pay on a much lesser amount, no? So, kaya kailangan ma-develop mo kung ano yung high achiever success formula mo because that will more or less impact how you're gonna market your services. And when you're writing your profile, no, make sure that um, sometimes it can't be helped. We write from a first person perspective. I, me, myself. No? Parang I, me, myself. um, it's nicer that when we write our profile, I've noticed that the good profiles, instead of I, me, myself, they focus on how can they be of service to others. Like what's in it for you? If we work together, what can I do for you? If we work together, how can I make your life better? Like for example, if you're doing virtual assistant work, like maybe doing research, I can make your workload easier by taking care of this task, no? I can help you achieve your goals of being competitive in this industry, you know. I can help you save on cost. I can help you save on time. So if you can emphasize on that, especially if you're new and you really want to articulate how can you be of value to others, that's what I would encourage. What problems do you take away? Like for example, if you need to beat your deadline, then I can help you by extending my hours or compressing my hours so that it can and get the job done, something like that. So it's all about what can you do for the other person. So if you're able to do that, then you can come up with, if you're clear, then remember when we talk about the content creation process. So the same process you can also observe when building your freelancer profile or your freelancer portfolio. You start with knowing how can you help your customer? Who's your target market? What's their job? What's their pain? What's their gain? What's in it for them? How can you make their lives better? And what problems can you take away? And then you write the products, service features that you're offering, or if you're a freelancer, what services can you render that can make their lives better and can take away the problems of your clientele, no? And then in the buyer's path to purchase, how will they know about you? That will create that awareness that you exist, no? And what can they see about you that will allow them or that will encourage them to get to know you more, and what opportunities are you providing so that you can have a conversation discussion, are you available for interview among others, so or are you available to give a 30-minute consultation among others, so that the possibility of closing that deal will happen much sooner or later. And then, of course, the moment you're conscious about this, then you can really decide what kind of content that you need to build as part of your freelancer profile and portfolio that can help make this person decide. The moment you have a system, then you can create templates already. For example, in our case, if our way of building, if our content creation system and value creation system is through e-learning, more or less we already have a template that I follow. Like whenever I have a course, it's usually 12 lessons. Or if I'm offering a free program, I also have some sort of template that I am already following when doing my presentation. So in your case, if you're doing write-ups, if you're building your portfolio, the more you do it, the more you're able to establish a template, like a format that you need to follow. Of course, you can publish your profile on blog and freelancer platforms. So I'm just going to show you some websites. I'm going to go back to some of the websites that I've shown during our session one, which is Introduction to E-commerce, Digital Marketing, and Freelancing. And then I'm going to show two more profiles in a bit more detail. No? So for example, Cebu Digital Hub is a website owned by Jun Barangan, who's based in Cebu. Actually, Jun Barangan is an search marketing specialist. He manages Google AdWords campaign for foreign clients. So he is a Google partner. He also teaches Google AdWords and Google Analytics. In fact, last year when I decided to become a certified Google AdWords on search, display, mobile, shopping, video, I studied under him, and through his mentorship, I was able to get my certification. The same way also when I got my Google Analytics certification, I actually studied sa kanya. Sa kanya ako nag-aral at saka through his mentorship, I was also able to get yung certification. In fact, I need to retake my certification again this year, and I'm gonna go through again the same process. And the reason why I want to go through the same process again is because of June's work experience. Ang dami niyang mga hinahandle na clients for Google AdWords campaign, na ibig sabihin that even if I can study Google AdWords on my own and take and pass the certification by myself, I would still rather go through him because I want to see what he has done. I want to learn from his experience so that mas enrich din yung aking perspective kapag nag-render ako ng Google AdWords related type of training, or kung magkakaroon ako ng project, ma-render ko rin siya as a service. Mas enrich din yung experience. Kasi sometimes you have acquired experience and sometimes you have experience that you have learned from others. So, yung mga learned experiences from other people are also of high value, and usually you can only get that uh, through mentorship. There's a difference between mentorship and coaching. In coaching, um, when a person is telling you their experience and when they're telling you what to do, that's not coaching. That's mentorship or teaching for that matter. Coaching is about asking you questions where the answers have to come from you. Technically, that's coaching, no? Kaya lang yun nga lang medyo na-abuse kasi yung word na coaching. Hindi kaya, pati yung mga nagtuturo at nagbibigay ng advice, tawag nila sa sarili nila coach. Pero technically, hindi yung coaching. That's mentorship, no? So anyway, through the website of June with Cebu Digital Hub, ito yung nakatulong sa kanya as he teaches Google AdWords and Google Analytics. Ito rin yung nag-pave ng way para makakuha siya continuously ng clients niya. Ripple Trend, actually the owner of Ripple Trend, I see Jay Balan. He is actually based in Cavite. So kanina si June from Cebu, si Ripple Trend naman ay from Cavite. So Jay Balan is actually offering digital marketing services, and he handles he handles his own set of clientele as well. And actually halos sa gabi siya lagi nag-work, no? Kasi dahil nga taga-overseas yung kanyang mga clients, no? And then we're also going to talk more about this. Third Team Media of Flair, owned by Flair Castro. Flair Castro, when I first met her, talagang technically VA talaga siya. No? Sa dati ODES pa yon, parang doon siya kumukuha ng mga outsourcing jobs. And then when she became one of my students in the Certified Blog and Social Media Entrepreneur Program, her objective was to establish her local presence and focus on getting local clientele as well. No? So after the program, I think a few months later, binuo na niya yung 13 Media. So she now has people working for her and focus on getting clients para ma-work on nila yung mga projects nila. And she's still active on Upwork, so I'm gonna show more about her later. Piper Rambuanga is from Davao City, and she has a project called the Knights of Online Marketers. So Piper is actively training virtual assistants, but because of that, Piper is also getting a lot of inquiries from people who would like to hire virtual assistants as well. No? And yun, nakakapag-create siya ng work opportunities for other virtual assistants. Alright? Infinity Hub is actually a website owned by Gilmar Padua. So si Gilmar actually is also a freelancer. So he started by getting web development type of jobs. And then later on, because of the size of the projects that he is getting, he decided to build a team in Davao City and started to hire people. In fact, there was a time na nag-base pa siya sa Manila para mag-manage ng mga clients niya. And then, bringing the work to Davao City. Pero recently, talagang mas nag-focus na siya, nakabase na siya sa Davao kasi parang kailangan din niya i-manage yung kanyang team. I was able to work with Gilmar. Marami kami mga training badges sa sites namin na yung team niya ang gumawa. We also had mga projects na outsource sa kanya. Pati na rin yung mga how do you call that? Mga web-related, although I referred also to him some social media related projects. Kasi minsan pa may nag-i-inquire sa akin, hindi ko na tinatanggap kasi lahat ng mga online project inquiries. So normally, ang default instinct ko is i-refer siya sa mga students ko, no? O sa mga naging former students ko para kahit paano makatulong din sa kanila para continuous din yung relationship with the students or former students by referring projects na possibly, hopefully, they can also work on. I also got the chance to meet Carla Singson. I first met Carla when I asked for help in one of my events in Davao City. But actually, Carla has really transformed, no? So Carla is a great, I mean, if you just look at her social media, she obviously is a great writer with fast turnaround time. And then she's also a very vibrant speaker, straight to the point. Malakas ang presence niya. So I think yun din yung reason kaya I think this Carla talagang malayo mararating ni Carla, no? Talagang iba siya. She also published her book on 33-step brand and positioning tactics. I got the chance to get her book and it's a good read, so I would encourage you to check her out as well. So ang forte niya is copywriting. So mga strong copy at saka although may forte rin siya sa finance among others, and a lot of that was taken from her experience. In fact, her freelancing story is very interesting because naranasan niya yung nag-start siya sa mga articles na $3, $5, tapos naranasan din niya yung mga hindi siya nabayaran. So, maganda yung story niya, tapos how she learned. And I think yung pagiging street smart niya, talagang nakaka-attract din ng certain clients na gusto nilang katrabaho na VA, hindi yung oo lang. Gusto nila yung parang opinionated, street smart na professional. Siya yun. Yun ang parang the best way I can describe her. I mean, my observations. She's street smart, no? I also got the chance to meet Vanj Padilla, who's doing a lot of digital marketing work, although a lot of her digital marketing work are for MSMEs and local government sa provinces. Jessica Madraso does content writing also for some of the online job sites, and she also has her own agency managing it for when managing work or project for clients. And she's also involved in an NGO. Charlene Fortunado is actually an active virtual assistant, although may client siya ngayon kaya hindi siya ganun ka-aggressive na kumuha ng clients online. Parang naka-retainer base na siya. So they do a lot of social media marketing. So as you can see in her profile, she's a Facebook ads advertiser and a chatbot builder. Genesis Runico is an active trainer in the freelancing field, teaching people like Piper on how to get started online. And he just published a book as well, and I think it's gonna be distributed this coming May. Apple Allison is actually a writer also and a digital marketing professional. However, she actively travels. She travels from Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore. So she actively goes around para makakuha rin ng clients, makakuha rin ng mga project opportunities, experiences. And although now she's back in Naga because I got her as a trainer for my e-commerce and digital marketing class there. No? Christine O'Hagan, I think she is based in Lanao del Norte. She's based in Kapatagan in Lanao del Norte. So she maintains a parang virtual assistant team there. I think she has around 15 people working for her from different locations. She's very young. She's aggressive in getting online projects, and she's now aggressive as well in teaching other people how to do it para continuously mabuild niya yung kanyang team. Kadalasan sa mga virtual assistants na talagang lumalaki yung mga teams nila, sila yung mga involved din sa training. Kasi minsan kasi hindi ka naman basta-basta makakapag-hire ng ganun-ganun lang. So malaking bagay yung nagtitrain ka, tapos nakakakita ka ng mga may potential, tapos yun ang i-hire mo. Kasi totoo yung sinabi ni Richard Branson, no? You don't just hire for skills, you hire for attitude. Kasi maraming mga skillful who have developed bad attitudes or bad attitude along the way, no? Kaya minsan, maganda pa yung makakuha ka ng maganda ang attitude, trainable, may potential, tapos sila yung mga gusto mong maka-work with. So, before we continue further with our discussion, I'd like to show some profile, no? Teka, sorry. Ano lang natin yan. So, for example, you have J.M. Mariano. So, si J.M. Mariano is actually one of my former students, a certified e-commerce specialist, entrepreneur, and professional program. If you notice his Facebook profile talks about ano yung mga latest sa ano no, yung Amazon, kasi Amazon reconciliation specialist siya. He's also involved in talent acquisition and outsourcing. So he owns an agency called VPro, and then he uses his profile to talk about freelancing, ano yung mga latest technology, yung mga nakakahiligan niya pag-aralan, and then share siya ng mga policy changes pagdating sa Amazon. And then when you look at his website, he hires Filipino freelancers, pays zero fees, just the rate agreed. And then he works with virtual assistant, article writers, proofreaders, web dev, web design programmers, e-commerce pros, bookkeepers, accountant, data entry, social media manager, call center agents, Photoshop graphic artists, and Amazon seller, inventory specialist. In fact, pag nag-hire siya, ang mga na-hire niya ngayon ay graphic artist saka Photoshop artist. I think his challenge when a lot of people would usually approach him, yeah, please include me in your team. Pero yun na nga, parang hindi naman din sila talaga ganun ka-aggressive na makakuha ng trabaho. Kaya kung tutusin, si JM, pag nagbuo siya ng team niya, mapili siya. He also has yung kanyang VPro, Global Outsourcing Services na page, and then you would also find yung kanyang profile, no? So ito yung profile niya sa Upwork. So papansin mo the way he writes his profile. He's an e-commerce professional, recruiter, and Amazon FBA reconciliation. Actually, before he became my student, parang ang forte niya talaga. He started with data entry, no? Research, tapos yung translation from Spanish to English kasi magaling, kahit paano magaling siya mag-Spanish. And then later on, he decided to start adding mga e-commerce services until he decided, I think 2 years ago, na talagang everything that he does, it's gonna focus on e-commerce. So dun na umikot yung kanyang ginagawa, no? So mapansin mo, instead of him instead of talking about himself, talagang nakafocus siya, no? Looking for agents, talents like virtual assistants to help your business grow. You've come to the right place. I can find the right people for you. Kasi nga, may team siya eh, no? And then if you look at his profile, um, naka $25 hourly rate siya, pero he already earned more than $100,000. He has completed 97 jobs and he has rendered 13,212 hours work. In fact, pag may mga webinars ako on freelancing, palaging siya ang kinukuha ko. Pero he is so busy, mahirap din siya maging available. Kung halimbawa may event ka, sabihin mo, kukunin mo siyang speaker, pwedeng palagi niyang uunahin yung kliyente niya. Na if something comes up with this client, talagang uunahin niya yung kliyente niya. Kaya kung tutusin, hirap din siya na basta mag-commit. Kasi pag mag-commit siya sa'yo, possible na pag may nangyari sa client niya, uunahin niya yung kliyente niya. No? Kaya madalas, he veers away from mga speaking opportunities kasi nga dahil dun sa ganung situation na meron siya, baka maipit lang, no? Kaya pwede pa siguro pag webinar kasi medyo mas manageable yon, no? So he is an e-commerce professional, recruiter, trainer, PM, and leads Amazon reconciliation. Okay, so considered siya as one of the most successful all-Filipino virtual assistant agencies in Upwork. He's very passionate in talent acquisition. He's very passionate in training people para maging part ng kanyang team. And so parang kahit paano, you're just talking to one person. Di ba naalala nyo, if you joined the session yesterday, we talk about business models. And in unbundling your business model, you can either focus on your service, or in unbundling your business model, you can focus also on talent acquisition. Because you're gonna work with freelancers anyway. So instead of treating your freelancer suppliers as just suppliers, in this case, nag-manage siya. So parang yung relationship niya with freelancers, ino-offer na niya yun as a service. Tapos nagpo-focus siya on high-value service, which is yung project management. No? So he has a VA, an e-commerce agency. And if you notice, he talked about the tools that he's using, familiar with many project management tools such as Basecamp and Asana. Actually, kaya rin I used to use learning management systems when managing my courses. And as I showed you yesterday, I was using Basecamp. One of the reasons kung bakit mas ginamit ko yung Basecamp was nung maging student ko siya at ginagawa na nila yung projects nila, he was adding his classmates, his teammates on Basecamp. Kaso hindi responsive yung mga classmates niya sa Basecamp para mas comfortable pa sila mag-usap on Facebook. So parang na-challenge din siya. Kaya na-realize ko, na-recognize ko yung challenge. Kaya lahat ng classes ko ngayon nasa Basecamp para eventually talaga pag talagang you're gonna work seriously with clients, Facebook is not a platform where you're gonna discuss projects. So you really have to go for project management coordination tools and start having your conversations or discussions there. So he talks about what he does. Do you find yourself needing people to support your project but don't have time to find them one by one? So he says that he can do that for them. As a recruitment and hiring manager, this is what he does. He is also a programmer, future programmer. So sinasabi niya na magiging programmer din siya at ito yung mga pinag-aaralan niya. So he would also love to lead a team of web dev programmers and mobile app designers in the future. And then he clearly communicates his goals, no? Provide highest quality work for my employers and respect my employers' time and money by logging in on time and submitting their projects on schedule. So I think um, kayo, what's your observation when as I read his profile to you? Ano yung kino-convey niya sa kanyang profile? You can type your answers on the questions box. For me, ang feeling ko, kino-convey niya na he can be trusted. Kino-convey niya that he can be a partner. He's also conveying that he's very serious in the business. He's very committed to his clients. He's guaranteeing more or less availability, no? Malaking bagay yung ilang jobs na yung nagawa niya at ilang hours na yung na-render niya and how much yung kinita na niya. Tapos makikita mo rin yung kanyang work history and feedback. So makikita mo rin yung kanyang flexibility on the kind of projects or jobs that he can do, no? At meron din siyang portfolio pieces that we cannot view now because we're not logged in. And then, yeah, nag-take din siya ng mga tests inside Upwork. Kasi you can, pag bago ka, pwede ka kasi mag-take ng test eh. At gamitin mo yung mga test na yun as an opportunity to prove what you are capable of, no? Now, if you notice, yan yung personal profile niya, but he is also associated with the following. So normally, kapag freelancer ka, you can put up your own profile, but you can also build your agency. So ito yung mga agencies niya, no? VPro, Amazon Seller, Refund Specialist, na kung saan siya yung business manager. Alright? Although, kung tutusin, dahil bago pa lang ito, siguro nag-i-start siya mag-build ng mga entities para imbis na nakakarga lahat sa profile niya yung credit for work, inaayos niya para nakalagay doon sa mga appropriate na agencies niya. No? So, 3 jobs, 1 member only in the group, and 14 hours. At nag-earn na siya ng more than $100. Tapos makita mo, he does 500-word articles, eBay lister. So, mga pag-list sa eBay, ang ginagawa niya. Kasi pag e-commerce BA ka kasi, what you do is you manage listings, no? So, you manage yung minomonitor mo yung SEO, minomonitor mo yung sales potential. Pag hindi nag-i-improve yung sales, so calibrate ka ng calibrate, ini-improve mo yung listing. Alright? So, for his vPro Global Outsourcing Services, ito yung parang pinaka-nauna talaga. Pero pansin nyo, no? Amazon, accounting, booking, data entry, web research, graphic design, photo editing, video editing, e-commerce and SEO, virtual assistants, web and mobile development, and writing. From $3 to $100 per hour, 97% job success. Currently working on 28 jobs. They started in 2010. 169 jobs na nagawa niya. Yung team niya, 20 members. Total hours, 39,000. And they have earned $300,000 already as a group. Alright? So, ito yung mga members niya. And when you look at the team, ayan o, data entry for meetings, di ba? Napag-usapan natin yung data entry. So, yan, no, nakakakuha pa rin siya ng mga data entry projects. Kasi kapag may kliyente ka na, you can already start telling clients na, uy, client, kaya ko rin gawin to, kaya ko rin gawin yan. I can also do this, I can also do that. So instead of your client hiring pa other people to get some jobs done, they would rather work with someone na kilala na nila para isa na lang ang kausap nila. Especially if that person is reliable in the first place. So, since nasa talent acquisition siya, pwede niya sabihin na, oh, I now have a graphic designer in my team. I now have a bookkeeper in my team. I now have a fast and highly accurate data entry specialist member in my team. So, mas madali siyang i-pitch. So, siguro pag nagpipitch siya, sinasabi niya, ito na yung, ganito na kaganda yung team ko. So, kung may kailangan ka sa ganito, I can help. You can also tap me for that, no? So, galing yung nangyayari sa kanila. So, nakita mo, mga mass product upload, of course, that's e-commerce related. Data entry, website scraping, manually scrap, no? So, Craigslist, mga postings, no? Among others. So, interesting, di ba? 20 members, 20 team members, at merong business manager on top of it. So, karamihan sa mga VA o mga freelancer na nag-grow, pwedeng sa una, they only get projects for themselves. Pero yung mga nag-grow talaga, they transform as business managers. So ito yung isang spin-off pa na ginawa niya, vPro Financial Services. So it focuses more on accounting, bookkeeping, invoicing, using Zero, FreshBooks, QuickBooks, and also doing reconciliation. No? So, limited pa lang yung mga projects nila, but as you can see, maganda naman yung kinita, no? Ng mga projects nila kasi mataas yung rate per hour, tapos matagal yung work. Ayan, no? eBay manager with vague pen knowledge and good sales copy skills. Tapos yan, zero bookkeeper. So, siguro depende, dahil bid lang siya ng bid, no? And naka 241 hours na sila. For vPro Design, which is photo touching and video editing and graphic design, isang team member, Although yung nakuha pa lang nila para minimal na projects pa lang. For idiom, that does translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, Amazon translation, and eBay translation services. Isa pa lang yung project niya dyan, no? Pero tuloy-tuloy naman. So, at least para na-identify niya ano yung mga businesses na meron siya, saan niya gusto mag-focus. So, ini-start niya i-build yung kanyang uh, various services there. So, ito yung kanyang profile. Now, of course, maraming mga freelancers, they also started building their profile on LinkedIn. So, kagaya niyan, ito yung kanyang LinkedIn profile. My strength is e-commerce, VA, and people management. I can find the right person for you for your e-commerce business and learn the processes involved in your business and train and assign VAs for you. So, ito yung sinasabi natin na pag binabasa mo yung profile niya, ang feeling mo, kausap mo siya. Kasi sinasabi niya kung ano yung pwede niyang gawin for you. Tapos, ayan, yung kanyang mga sample, and then makikita mo yung kanyang profile. So, he describes himself as a hiring manager, project manager. So, very focused yung kanyang description. Earlier, I talked about Third Team Media, which is from Cebu. So, yung Third Team Media, they offer various digital marketing services, no? And they also offer consultation. So, they manage Facebook campaigns, Instagram ads, no? Um, at marami rin silang portfolio, no, sa kanilang mga projects, no, na nakapublish online. Pero actually, as I mentioned, Flair actually started with Odes trying to get projects. So they still get projects there, although hindi ito yung parang pinaka-primary source of income nila. Ang income talaga nila nasa local na rin. So you have 13 media. So mapansin nyo, interesting yung profile niya kasi sabi niya, the rockstar team for your social media needs. Kaya yung profile niya, in-explain niya yung profile niya using the acronym of social media. S, we share. O is open. No, diba? C for content. I for interact. A for aggregate. L for loyalty. M for mix. E, engage. D for distribute. I for integrate. A for accelerate. No? So, parang it's a creative way of presenting yourself and showing, parang demonstrating what's your appreciation of social media. Hindi ko lang alam kung ma-open natin yung profile nila kasi kanina para may spike in traffic kaya para may error o puro parang error pa rin, no? Like si Lovette, one of the team members, she's based in Iligan, no? Actually si Flair also came from Iligan tapos nag-move siya sa Cebu. So that's 30 media. And when you get the chance to visit Flair's profile, ganun din, no? I can help you with social media and digital marketing through my company, 30 Media, a digital agency specializing in providing assistance for international and local SMEs in their social media marketing campaigns. We focus our efforts on helping our clients get their projects and campaigns off the ground from launches to maintenance. Tapos, yung long-term version niya, napansin mo, ito na yung tinel niya yung kanyang story. I started in college, started creating website, nag-deploy siya ng CMS, nag-take siya, nag-aral siya, and then paano nag-ano yung third team media, and then she talked about herself, how she evolved, no? So, mapansin nyo, yung kanyang experience, nakalagay dyan, pero at the same time, yung nagamit niya rin yung feature na meron kang portfolio. Alright? So, tapos ano yung mga iba't iba niyang mga ginagawa, no? So, may mga volunteer experience din siya. So, these things are very important, no? Ako, meron din akong portfolio for our e-learning and for our training. We just refer people dun sa aming yung portfolio na nakalagay doon, yung lahat na nagawa namin so far that people can access for free, no? So that's one way. So there are many ways that you can actually build your portfolio online. There are many platforms also that you can use to promote your services. So you have Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr. Yung local dyan are the likes of 199 jobs, where the jobs are typically 199 pesos. It's a good channel for starters. Yun nga lang, kailangan talaga bantayan mo siya kasi maraming nagsasabi dyan na maraming mga nagpalis na mga online workers na hindi naman nila minomonitor yung mga opportunities. So, maganda kung saan ka magjo-join, kailangan i-monitor mo. Kasi kung nag-expect ka na makakatanggap ka ng notification sa email, that's too late already. Kailangan talaga active kang nag-check ng mga listings. So, kung saan ka magjo-join, kailangan active kang mag-check. Onlinejobs.ph, hindi siya technically na ala Upwork. Parang focus lang siya for the Philippines. And then you also have to beef up your portfolio, and then you can also apply for jobs. So it's very competitive. So kaya kailangan magkaroon ka rin ng template kung paano ka magpapadala ng proposal. And we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So all of these are platforms where you can post your job, post your opportunities. So let's talk about promoting your expertise online. So remember, we had a discussion about doing social media campaign for your MSME project. The same can also apply when promoting yourself as a freelancer. So as a freelancer, you need to decide what are your social media and digital marketing campaign goals. Kasi sa iba, gumawa ka na ng profile. So syempre, gusto mong makakuha ng projects. And getting projects, one way of doing it is just to man the freelancing websites. Abangan mo kapag may requirement at mag-submit ka ng proposal. That's important. Talagang kailangan part siya ng iyong routine. Tawag natin doon, you can include that activity as part of your CRM, no? Or customer relationship management that includes prospects, relationship management. But normally, once you start building your portfolio and then you started submitting proposal and start watching out for leads and start doing your negotiation, ito na yung activity na ginagawa mo. You're trying to create brand awareness, you're trying to build your name. Hopefully, if people like you, they will entertain your proposal. And masasabi mong successful ka if they will try to arrange an interview with you. Pag sinabi nila, are you available for an interview? I think that's a good sign. The mere fact na in-offer ka ng interview, ibig sabihin, may pag-asa ka. Ngayon, kung baguhan ka at at nagwo-worry ka na baka hindi ka offeran ng interview, ikaw na mag-volunteer na I'm available for interview to further discuss your requirements and for me to explain also what my capabilities are. At least, nandun yung willingness mo na mas scrutinize ka ng client. Even if hindi ka matanggap, pero yung experience na yon, makakatulong yun para lumakas yung loob mo. Diba? There's also relevance and credibility. No? Through your portfolio, hopefully you'll be able to establish your credibility and why you're relevant, especially if you start sharing interesting resources that people can find value in. And if you do a good job, hopefully you'll be able to convert them to sales. At maging client mo na sila, continuously sustain the relationship, keep them updated, be transparent, deliver on time, exceed expectations. And then if your team improves in terms of composition, what services you can offer, you can cross-sell those services. So build that loyalty with your client. And as I said, digital marketing, if done right, should connect you to the 20% who will give 80% of your desired revenue. Yun nga lang, kailangan lumaki yung services mo kung freelancer ka. If you notice what Flair and what JM has done with their profile, they started by marketing themselves. Nung makakuha na sila ng client at nakikita nila kung ano pa yung ibang needs ng client nila, they started improving themselves by improving also their team composition to the point na, syempre, yung paghahanap ng team members, kailangan reliable din sila. Hindi yung, yeah, gusto kong kumita, sama ako sa iyo, pero pag binigyan mo na ng project, ay, hindi ako pwede ngayon, bukas na lang. Ay, sorry, nag-outing kami, hindi ako makapag-submit ng report sa iyo. Hindi pwede yon kasi, you're a freelancer. You don't own you own your time, pero when you have a client, you have to submit on time because the market is so competitive. The moment your client gets pissed off, pwedeng hindi na ako magbabato ng project sa'yo dahil hindi ka reliable. Reliability is the name of the game, di ba? But the moment you become reliable for your client, then possible na yung client na yan magiging loyal to the point na from data entry or from transcription, all of a sudden, sa'yo na ipapamanage yung eBay listing, sa'yo na ipapahandle yung social media, baka sa'yo na rin ipahandle yung mga ads para ikaw na mag-manage. So, pwedeng lumaki ng lumaki yung trabaho mo for that client, especially kung nakakatulong ka dun sa bottom line ng client na sinaserve mo. No? So, when deciding as to which platform are you gonna market and are you going to build your profile, you can observe the checklist. Like, if you're trying to look for clients, will Facebook help you for that? Will LinkedIn help you on that? Kung gagamitin mo si Upwork o si Freelancer or si Online Jobs, makakatulong ba sila sa'yo? Again, kung ano yung mapili mong mga platforms, it's not just about putting yourself there. It's all about making time to monitor it. Because at the end of the day, in the freelancing world, it's all about turnaround time. How fast you are in sending a proposal, how fast you are in offering yourself for an interview and making yourself available for that interview and saying all the right things that will make that client desire to hire you, no? So, kaya kailangan ano to, kumbaga sa basketball, full court press to, no? Talagang gwardya, no? Gwardya ka talaga kung ang habol mo ay makakuha ng kliyente. The moment you don't give your 100%, then don't expect returns. Don't expect na makakakuha ka ng projects because ang dami nyo nandyan doon sa system. So, the one who is most aggressive, the one who really wants it, the one who wants it more than you, and will willing to be patient, man, and really please that client, will get that project. Okay? So, the moment you've established your profiles, maganda rin kung makapag-build kayo ng credible links on blogs, social media, newsletter, and the likes because they will look for you on search as well. So type your name on Google. What can your prospective clients see about you? So make sure that whatever they can see about you on Google is consistent to what you have on your Upwork or on your online jobs profile. Kung ano man yung nilagay mo ron, yung messaging mo kailangan consistent. Kaya if you notice for JM and Flair, yung messaging nila sa LinkedIn profile nila is very consistent with their Upwork and with their website, no? Kasi pag hindi siya naging consistent, parang hindi magandang tingnan. Parang it will imply na you have a dual life or parang hindi talaga to yung ginagawa mo full time. Para bang, ay, parang ang dami niyang ginagawa, parang distracted siya. Like halimbawa, sabihin mo, programmer ka, kapos pa nakita dun sa blog mo, travel ka ng travel. O kaya attend ka ng event sa mga kung ano-anong mga events. Then iisipin niya na may time kaya talaga to para mag-programming work sa akin. Para napaka-active ng lifestyle niya. Of course, hindi ko naman sinasabi na magkulong kayo sa bahay, no? Pero ang point ko is, dapat, pag nagba-marketing ka, kung ano yung makikita nila sa social media mo, more or less, consistent dun sa pinoproject mo sa freelancer profile mo. Kaya minsan, kapag hindi ka na-hire o hindi ka ini-interview, pwedeng nag-search siya online about you at based dun sa nakita niya online about you, na-realize niya, you're not the right person for the job. Kasi, marami kang distraction. No? Nag-picture na kagad siya na you're a very distracted person. Hindi ka yung desired person na i-hire niya for the project. No? So, pwedeng ganun ang iniisip niya. And yeah, you interconnect your internal and external content. If you decide to become an expert on a specific niche, like yung kanina, yung eBay listing, o kaya Amazon FBA, reconciliation specialist, etc., etc. So, maganda kung ma-build up mo yung content mo for that topic so that mag-rank ka for that chosen keyword. Therefore, at least kung may mga project opportunities in relation to that, sa'yo bumaksak yung inquiry. O at least pumasok sila sa page mo, sa profile mo, as a person that can be hired for that purpose. You can also, as I mentioned earlier, you can create resources. So this is about articles, slides, videos, infographics, and reach out to other people who talks about the same topic and maybe interview them or share your content with them. You can also do outreach to other people, especially if you're trying to build a team at naghahanap ka ng mga fresh talent na highly trainable. So, yan, doon nakakatulong yung mag-train ka, you do talks, pero dapat focus yung reason mo. Maybe your reason is you're really looking for high-quality talent na pwedeng maging part ng team mo, na pwede mong i-train, no? Napapansin ko, yung mga nasa ganitong field, when they do talks, it's not about getting clients. It's really scouting for team members na interesado maging part ng team, pero very high ang potential. Or partners na pwedeng gagawa rin sila ng mini setup na pwedeng pag-outsource ng projects. No? And for metrics, of course, your search ranking, traffic generated, and don't forget the inquiries that you're able to generate as a result of it. It's good to have a campaign kasi yung campaign mo will more or less impact the kind of projects that you will attract. Although ito, ibang klase yung campaign na nakalagay dito. Pero ang point ko lang, mapapansin nyo, merong post, pwedeng what you post on social media or maybe what you wrote about. Pero mapapansin nyo, may mga pillar activities. So the pillar activities are email follow-up, PM follow-up, call, meeting. So kung nasa freelancer profile ka, pwedeng yung napadalhan mo ng proposal, magpa-follow up ka kung may feedback ba siya, or magpa-follow up ka kung willing ba siyang interviewin ka, no? Or arranging for an online meeting or arranging for a call, no? So kailangan staple activity siya. Kasi the moment you spend more time on social media rather than doing follow-up, sending proposals, having phone calls, having interviews, that means you're not doing follow-up enough. No? Dapat siguro 80% of your time is on relationship management and only 20% is on marketing. The moment naging 80% marketing ka at 20% lang ang relationship management mo, there's something wrong with your operations. Pag freelancer ka, dapat 20% lang ang marketing and 80% is focused on relationship management. Talk to prospects, talk to former clients, build the relationship, talk to your team, keep the team, on alert, no? Check what they're doing. Talagang kailangan talaga nakafocus ka dun sa relationship. Kasi at the end of the day, this business is all about relationship because it's all about rendering of services. All right? So, how do we record and follow up on leads and how do we keep track of customers? So the same method that we recommend for MSMEs is what we recommend for freelancers. So you need to have a customer relationship management process and ideally you should spend 80% of your time on this. So build that relationship, sustain that relationship, and always make sure that in the process you will be likable and preferred because you are relevant. No? So for marketing, you can have your campaign, pero ideally, pag nag-execute ka na, dapat 20% lang ng time mo ang nandoon. 80% of your time should be subdivided into rendering support, training your team members, acquiring new skills for your team members. Kapag may lull time kasi wala pang project, dapat nagtuturo ka para yung team members mo tumaas ang alam nila. Or kung wala ka pang team members, then dapat you're spending time learning something, get certification. There's so much free certification trainings out there from Google, Facebook, meron din sa HubSpot. So, you spend your time getting those certification rather than mag-hangout ka sa Facebook at mag-like ka lang na mag-like ng post ng iba at makichat ka sa mga groups, no? Dapat 20% lang ng time mo yung nandun sa marketing side. May time ka na i-allot na mag-aaral ka para makakuha ka ng certification o kaya mag-take ka ng exam sa Upwork. para dumami yung test na napas mo, no? Then do sales by, submitting proposals, do follow-up, and arrange for your interviews. At kung makakuha ka na ng kliyente, make sure that they are well taken care of. No? Pag may kliyente ka na, then pwedeng yung 80% mo will be 30% managing your orders, maybe 25% support, 25% sales, pero retain marketing at 20%. Hindi dahil sa tinatamad ka, pero dahil efficient ka na. If you have planned your campaigns ahead, you don't really need to spend a lot of time on marketing. You spend more time on talking to prospects and managing your clients. And keep on training your team, especially if you are building a team. And follow up can happen in many ways. And sometimes it's not just the first follow up, it's a continuous follow-up process. Kasi kahit na hindi pa siya ready, you can go ahead and build that relationship. Look for them outside of the platform and continue building the relationship. But of course, if you're doing business inside the platform, then you can tell them that if they hire you, they have to hire you inside the platform. You can create a stage workflow, as I mentioned before, like what email will you send, if you will PM them, ano yung nasabihin mo, ano yung landing page na gagamitin mo para makapag-acquire ka ng lead, what are you going to do from day 2 to 7 in your follow-up and reaching out, same way for your day 3 to 21 and day 2 to 31. In this scenario, the idea here is dapat yung nag-inquire sa'yo, ma-convert mo as a client in 31 days. Of course, hindi mo lahat mako-convert, pero maganda yung may tina-target ka para kahit paano magpursigi ka. I remember when I was working on my blog network, at that time, parang iniisip ko lang, makakuha lang ako ng 100 blog posts project a month. And then bigla akong nagkaroon ng project na nagkaroon ako ng 150 blog posts in one day. And then I was thinking, possible kaya na makakuha ako ng 1,000 blog posts project a month. So you need to set your targets because your targets will help you decide on what your workflow is gonna look like. Your targets will push you na kailangan mag-follow up ako kasi wala pa ako dun sa target ko na magkaroon ako ng 1,000 blog post project a month. No? So, hindi naman ikaw lahat mag-vlog nun. Yung sinasabi kong 1,000 blog post na yun yung may blog network ka and you're trying to get X number of blog post opportunities na pwedeng hawakan ng team mo. No? So, depende sa inyo yun kung ano yung pinupush yung freelancing na service. And ideally, when we do email follow-up, we do it based on conversation, depending on the conversation, and we want to send something for follow-up. And maybe because you had a meeting or you had an interview online and then you decided to send a follow-up email. So, maganda nag-email marketing tayo pero based on a development. Para hindi yung para nag-email ka lang na para nag-i-spam ka. Pwede pang follow-up lang siya dun sa conversation nyo, ano yung napag-usapan nyo, follow through o may gusto ka idagdag dun sa napag-usapan nyo o may additional reference ka na gustong i-provide sa iyong prospect. So, your email, you should be careful with your email because your email is a representative of your brand. It doesn't have to be flashy na full of graphics. It can be text, pero importante, professionally done siya. It must show you as the sender, hindi yung parang generic email lang na info at ganyan kasi hindi siya magandang tingnan para sa kliyente. Pwede kang mag-disappear pag ganun ang email mo. It must reflect you as the sender. Your email mas maganda kung may domain name ka at yun ang ginagamit mo for correspondence, pang client correspondence na. If you notice for this webinar, instead of using my digitalfilipino@gmail.com, when I communicate with you, I'm using Janette at digitalfilipino.com. And sending emails to the right people, always communicating your value proposition. And of course, hindi ako ganun naniniwala dun sa kailangan may social sharing buttons. Kasi kung private yung email mo, hindi kailangan ng social sharing buttons. Unless you're sending an email blast or an email na talagang may something relevant that can be shared. Pero hindi lahat ng emails kailangan may social sharing buttons. Do you need to advertise? It depends on how competitive you are. If you are really competitive in trying to get projects for yourself, then maybe advertising can help. Pero advertising will be a waste of money kung hindi maayos yung portfolio mo, hindi maayos yung freelancer profile mo, hindi maayos yung write-up mo. Don't advertise kung hindi maayos yun, no? Pero kung maayos yung website mo, maayos yung portfolio mo, um, maayos yung pag-communicate mo ng value proposition mo, no? Yeah, then maybe, yeah, why not, no? Maybe just budget 500 pesos or 1,000 pesos and see how it will be like. But, hindi pwedeng yung basta nag-hire lang ng virtual assistant. Mas maganda yung meron kang specific na hinahanap. Like yung kagaya kay JM. Pwedeng naghahanap siya ng mga Amazon sellers na kailangan dun sa kanilang FBA reconciliation. Pwedeng yun, mga ganon na specific niche. Kasi madaling mag-advertise. Pero ang tanong doon, yung mga tina-target mo man tao, may capability ba sila magbayad sa'yo? So, kailangan mo rin siyang i-narrow down. But in case you would decide to advertise, again, make sure na clear ang iyong marketing goals. For search, you can use Google AdWords. You can make your ads appear on search, display. Pag display, yan yung mga nasa blogs na may mga ads. At yung ads na lumalabas sa YouTube. You can also have a video na nagsasalita ka or talking about what you do at yun ang ilalagay mo. Pero usually that is more for brand awareness. Hindi siguro mag-a-apply ang shopping for freelancer at yung mobile depende, no? Um, kung gagamit ka ng search, then I would suggest adding yung ad extensions like phone number and location. Maganda siguro yung phone number para if they have increased, they can call you right away. Like halimbawa, ang ginawa mong search keywords mo is sell online on Amazon. Then yun, if you're offering Amazon FBA reconciliation or managing their presence on Amazon, then pwedeng yun ang advertisement mo. Di ba? You can also make your ads appear on Gmail, engagement ads like on YouTube, or you can also run video ads, or you can also run display ads. Pero tingin ko kapag virtual assistant ka at talagang kumukuha ka ng specific clients, very, very targeted ka siguro. And most likely, baka mas strategic sa'yo to advertise on search. At gamitin mo yung mga call feature and you focus on a very, very niche service. Like yung kagaya ng sample na binigay ko, yung selling online on Amazon at VA ka for that, no? Of course, you can also advertise on Facebook to build awareness. You can also use videos. And you can also use carousel ads if you want to influence consideration, but you really have to be creative about this and what you're going to offer. And make sure that when people go to your page, they have something to look at na talagang that will suit their needs. At pwede rin call to action like outsource your sell online on let me show you how can I assist you to sell online on Amazon. Pero yun, parang long shot yun kasi nagpaplano pa lang siya. Mas maganda sana kung talagang seller na siya at kailangan lang niya ng assistance na i-manage, then yun, tatarget mo na siya. So, your digital marketing campaign for your freelancing is a combination of the content that you publish online, how you make yourself visible on search, posting on social media, but more importantly, it's the relationship management. Kaya I would suggest that you wag mong bigyan ng less time ang relationship management. You should put more time to it. From sending proposals, arranging interviews, doing follow-up, kung may kliyente ka, then keeping that client happy, to continuously acquiring talent or training your talent team kung meron kang grupo. At kung comfortable ka na sa skills nila, then offering it to your client and letting your client know that you can also render the following services so that you can cross-sell and get more project opportunities from that client. All right? So, the flywheel that I would recommend, if you have a website, then maganda kung may domain name ka and grow your domain authority, grow your social, email, and word of mouth channels, earn search, referral, and social media traffic, and rank for competitive keywords. Like in our case, we rank for e-commerce keywords. So look at your niche. Ano ba yung expertise mo? Then you want to rank on that. No? So kung halimbawa, ang expertise mo, eBay listing, or eBay store management. So, lahat ng ino-offer mo services naka-center sa eBay, from managing listing, managing follow-up, optimizing yung listing, etc., etc. Then, dun mo gustong mag-optimize, no? And publish content on that subject where you want to rank higher, and push whatever content you have na educational to your community base, and hopefully earn links and shares in the process. All right. So thank you very much for joining our session on freelancer profile creation and how to publishing it on your chosen freelancer platforms and promoting your freelancer profile online.